dog, you need to think about it as a 15-year commitment, not about how you're feeling right now.
But I think maybe in the future, once breeding is regulated, we will start seeing that breeders care more about the dog's life.
Hi, my name is Tara and this is my dog Karma, and I've been a dog trainer for the last 7 years now. And I got into this field basically through working with rescue dogs. I used to work at a shelter that does rescue and rehabilitation work in Bangalore. And that's how I started working with dogs. I went on to pursue a lot of dog training courses and learn about it more formally. And I've been in this industry now for the last 6 years professionally. And I've set up my own training facility now. It's called Canine Synergy. And we do a lot of board and trains and other training programs and courses for people looking to learn dog training. I also have a working dog club where we train for a protection dog training sport called PSA. And we train dogs for high levels of obedience as well as protection for personal protection. We are Canine Synergy, and Canine Synergy is a dog training facility based out of a farm in Whitefield in Bangalore. We run extensive amounts of training programs in the form of board and train, visiting models, courses for dog trainers, as well as online sessions and pre-puppy consultations. We basically cover end-to-end of anything anyone would need to learn about dog training.
So what we try to do differently mainly over here is that we try to understand what is the life of the dog going to be and what is the life that the pet parent can actually provide the dog. So keeping that in mind, we make sure that whatever training that we do or however we've structured the programs for the dog, it is basically dependent on what is the life that the dog is going to have once he goes back home. Another thing that we make sure that we do is we make sure our head trainers are involved in all the assessments and all the the important decisions that are made when we are setting this program, and that is what actually sets us apart.
So for people who are like bringing home a new dog or thinking about bringing home a new dog, even if they're looking to adopt from a shelter or if they're looking to buy a particular breed and a particular dog, right? There are a lot of factors to consider before you even get the dog home. So one of the major things is time, right? Like a lot of people think like, I have a big house, I have a garden, so like any dog will be fine in my house. But dogs don't really care much for how big your house is or like, what clothes you wear. It's more about how much time you have to offer them. It's more about like, can you spend quality time bonding with your dog once you get them? What does that dog and that breed find enjoyable, right? Is this a breed that maybe, let's say, really likes to run, really likes to go explore outdoor spaces, things like that? Are you going to be capable of giving that dog those kind of life experiences, and do you enjoy doing that? Right? If you're somebody that like strictly does not like going outdoors, does not like getting yourself dirty, then probably a breed that needs a lot of physical exercise and a lot of outdoor time is not good for you. The time is one of the major factors. What do you enjoy doing? Is that something that overlaps with what the dog enjoys doing? That's another major factor. When you're getting a dog, you need to think about it as a 15-year commitment, not about how you're feeling right now. Like I think this trend happened during COVID where a lot of people were like, oh, I don't have to go to office, I'm working from home, oh, I'm feeling so bored, I can't see my friends, let me get a dog, right? And a lot of people started acquiring puppies and adopting dogs and things like that during COVID. And we've seen the effect of it once COVID let up and once everyone started going back to the office. They had these nervous dogs who had hardly ever left their home, who were living in this dystopian reality of the fact that my parents are always home. And now you have people going back into office, spending 6 hours of the day out of the house, and the dogs are anxious, the dogs are stressed out, the dogs are destroying things at home. The dog's never been shown a life where they had to be alone at home, right? So I think like assessing your long-term life, your long-term schedule rather than your current situation is really important before you get a puppy home. I think the largest shift that needs to happen is actually from educating breeders and vets, because that's the first point of contact for most people, right? Like if you're not someone that wants to buy a dog, if you don't go to a breeder, even if you adopt a dog, probably the first thing you do when you adopt a dog is take your dog to your vet and get a full examination done, right? And vets being misinformed is leading to so many issues for pet parents and for dogs. Vets being misinformed about behavior, about training, as well as nutrition is like I think one of the biggest downfalls of the pet care industry. So I think like the real education that trainers and other professionals need to start with is on that level. Like if we can get through to the vets and we can teach them, or we can give them a little bit of information that we know from hands-on working with dogs and behavior, right?
ಹಾಯ್, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ರೂಪೇಶ್. ನಾನು ಅನಿಮಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕೇರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಕೆನೈನ್ ಸಿನರ್ಜಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ನಾನಿಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಿ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 2 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬಂತು. ಈ ಫೀಲ್ಡಿಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂದೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ನಾನು ಮೊದಲು ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮಾ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಬೇರೆ ಒಂಥರ ರೋಬೋಟ್ ಥರ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋ ಥರ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಲೈಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಂದೆ ಕೆಲಸ, ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಅದು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು. ಬಟ್ ಏನೋ ಒಂಥರ ಲೈಕ್ ನಾನು ಮೊದಲಿಂದ ಸಣ್ಣ ಹುಡುಗರಿಂದ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಪಕ್ಷಿ ಜೊತೆನೇ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಬಂದೆ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನೋ ಒಂಥರ ಖುಷಿ, ನೆಮ್ಮದಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಕೆರಿಯರ್ನ ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಯಂಗ್ಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಈ ಫೀಲ್ಡಿಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಮೇಯ್ನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಏನಂದರೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ತುಂಬ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ, ಸಣ್ಣ ಪುಟ್ಟ ವಿಷಯನೂ ಕೂಡ ಲೈಕ್ ಏನು ಬಿಡ್ದಂಗೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಏನಂತ ತುಂಬ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು ಈ ಫೀಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ.
So I think like overall, especially in India, the training industry is very unregulated, right? So that means that pretty much anyone can tout themselves as a dog trainer, can go and offer dog training services, and they need not have any actual formal education on dog training. They need not have any experience beyond maybe training their own pet dog, which is one dog and one type of dog at home. And they often have very limited perspectives when they go and try to teach other people how to raise their dogs, right? When you're looking out for signs of a good trainer, one is definitely like look for a trainer that is more keen to teach you and educate you about dog training, about your dog and why you're not handling your dog the right way, and involve you in the sessions. If you have a trainer that's telling you that they need to take the dog out of the house away from you for your sessions when they come home, that's probably a red flag. They're probably not using very science-based ethical methods, and they don't want you to see what they're doing with your dog. It could involve a lot of compulsion and force, and that's probably why they don't want you to see what they're doing with your dog. So if a trainer is telling you that they have to isolate the dog from you when they come home for sessions, like that's probably not a good sign. Another thing is trainers who jump into obedience when your dog is having behavior issues, right? Behavior and obedience are two very, very separate things. Obedience can be taught to any dog. Obedience can be good for any dog, but when you're dealing with behavior issues, obedience is not a solution. The behavior needs to be addressed at its root cause.
I think like the biggest misconception that most people have is that dog training is only that my dog should know a certain set of commands. But I think the biggest factor for you to decide over here is whether is this trainer good or not, is for you to actually see, is this person speaking to you more than commands? Because if the dog trainer is only interested in teaching your dog certain commands, that trainer is not thinking of your life with the dog. So today when somebody comes to us, right, the first thing that we try to do is we try to understand what is going on in your life, who are the primary people at home, what are your living situations, and how much time can you actually give this dog, and based on that we're going to teach you a lot of things that you will need to do on a day-to-day basis to make sure that you and this dog can live in harmony. So understanding what is the life that is actually there, that the dog is going to live with his primary owner, family, whoever it might be, the trainer that actually cares about that is the trainer that actually stands apart, and that is actually different from just every other normal trainer that you'd probably reach out to.
If there's like reactivity and aggression involved, it's probably better to engage in a board and train model where a trainer can structure their routine and their day-to-day life throughout the course of their training, and actually like see the dog and assess the dog's behavior while living with the dog. It's very different when your trainer gets to live with your dog and see how your dog is from morning to evening, and see how your dog is in various situations, because they'll be able to understand your dog and their behavior a lot better and provide you with more long-lasting results in terms of what your dog has learned during the program. Another thing is like we have a farm environment, right? So I can expose dogs who come to me to all kinds of things in a controlled environment. I can have them exposed to other dogs, other farm animals. There's cats here, there's horses, there's cows, there's sheep. There's so many people that work here that know how to behave around dogs. So it's a very wholesome learning experience for the dog. And it's not just about like training and formal commands, but the dog actually learns to behave in various situations and engage with different animals and different kinds of people in a controlled manner. So yeah, good good training is quite expensive these days, and a lot of people, think it's too expensive and they don't want to spend money on training their dog. But the thing is, when you talk about training, right, it's something that's going to help you improve your quality of life with your dog for the next 14, 15 years. And in the larger picture, it's a very small investment to make in order to ensure that you have a good quality of life with this dog, that your dog is in control and safe and reliable to have around your family and your friends, and it can help you prevent a lot of other damage in the long run. So it's definitely an investment that people should be making and thinking about more as how you would think about sending a child to school or college, and how you would invest in that for the betterment of their life in the long run.
You bringing home this domestic animal and expecting so much from this animal basically just to fit into your life is something that's a lot to actually ask for. You investing in this time initially when the dog is still a puppy, or just for a span of 1 month, and then your pet comes back home and it has all it has all the basics that it actually needs, is going to make sure that you have a very comfortable next 13-14 years with this pet, rather than you waiting for the pet to become around 2-3 years old, develop some behavioral issues, and then you having the need to come and send the dog to us.
So another thing that I run in Bangalore is Anarchy Canine. It's a working dog club. It's actually inspired by a sport called PSA, which is an American dog sport that tests dogs that are trained in protection. So we have a segment in the sport which is for advanced obedience, and then protection scenarios that the dogs get tested in. So for people looking to own very high drive working lines of breeds like Malinois, Dutch Shepherds, Rottweilers, it's really important for you to learn how to channel those dogs' drives, how to give them an outlet for their energy, and also how to have control through advanced obedience with such breeds in order to own them safely, especially in an urban environment. So what we do at the club is we work with handler owner teams that want to come down and develop dogs to be not just their pets but also double up as personal protection. And basically when you're raising these breeds to be a pet, understanding that giving them this outlet where they get to express their aggression and express their aggression in a controlled manner is really important in order to keep them happy, satisfied, as well as safe in your household.